Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison's net worth soared by $89 billion.
11 out of its first 12 years, Oracle's sales doubled in size.
This is America's digital landlord.
He thinks there is a single score for all of humanity. He wants to be at the top of that list.
New York, 1944. A 19-year-old mother, a baby born with pneumonia in a one-bedroom apartment in the Bronx. His name, Lawrence Joseph Ellison. 9 months later, she sent him to Chicago to live with her aunt and uncle, Lillian and Louis Ellison. Louise was strict. Lillian was patient. They gave him a home and a name that would one day appear on skyscrapers. He grew up hearing, "You'll never amount to anything," so he decided to build a life that no one could ignore. College bored him. Obedience repelled him. He dropped out twice and drove west to California with nothing but a used car and a gift for code. That decision set off one of the most improbable journeys in modern capitalism, from an adopted kid in Chicago to a billionaire technologist who would reshape how the world stores information. By 2025, Larry Ellison has built Oracle Corporation, raced yachts across oceans, bought nearly an entire Hawaiian island, and become one of the richest people alive. But Ellison's story isn't just about money, it's about architecture, how a man who refused to be controlled ended up building the systems that run the modern world. This is the story of Larry Ellison. Chicago, 1950s. He tinkered with radios, model planes, and anything he could open with a screwdriver. Rebellion wasn't his goal. Understanding was. At the University of Illinois, he excelled in math and science. When his adoptive mother died suddenly, he was shaken. He left school, briefly attended the University of Chicago, then left again. Textbooks couldn't keep up with curiosity. At 22, he headed to California and found work as a programmer at Amdahl and Ampex. There, he helped build database systems for clients like the CIA, his first look at how data could shape power. Then came a paper by IBM's Edgar F. Codd, a new model for relational databases. Most ignored it. Ellison saw the future.
Beat IBM to market because IBM doesn't believe in their own idea.
In 1977, with Bob Miners and Ed Oates, he founded a small company to build it. They called it Software Development Laboratories. Their capital was $2,000 and one belief: whoever organized data would organize business. A rented office in Santa Clara, 3 engineers, second-hand desks, and an idea most of Silicon Valley dismissed. The CIA project called Oracle became their first breakthrough. The government liked what it saw. So did Ellison, so he renamed the company after it. By the early 1980s, Oracle was selling software that could run entire organizations: finance, defense, medicine. In 1986, Oracle went public. Shares jumped 22% on day one. Ellison became a multi-millionaire overnight. Then came the crash. By 1980, aggressive accounting had inflated revenues. When the truth hit, the stock fell 70%. He got half his executive team and rebuilt the company around one product, Oracle 7. Within 2 years, Oracle was profitable again. The turnaround wasn't smooth. Ellison brought in consultants, restructured departments, and made enemies. One board member suggested he step down. Ellison's response was to work longer hours and push harder. He instituted what employees called Ellison Reviews, sessions where he'd grill managers on everything from code quality to customer retention rates. Nothing escaped scrutiny. When Oracle 7 finally launched in 1992, it was stable, scalable, and timed perfectly for the rise of client-server computing. The product worked, the stock recovered, and Ellison learned a lesson that would define the next 3 decades. Control everything, trust no one, and never stop moving. Through the 1990s, Ellison went to war with IBM, Microsoft, and anyone who stood between him and market share. He called it consolidation. Others called it conquest. The PeopleSoft battle was his defining siege, an 18-month hostile takeover that ended with Oracle paying $10.3 billion and absorbing a rival twice its size. Then came Cybele Systems, BAA, and Sun Microsystems, which gave Oracle ownership of Java, the language that powered the internet. By the turn of the century, banks, airlines, and governments were all running on Oracle's machinery. The digital economy had its backbone, and Ellison had built it. Success didn't soften Larry Ellison. It intensified him. He flew fighter jets, raced yachts, and built homes modeled after Japanese palaces. One in Woodside was based on a 16th century Kyoto estate, a study in balance and discipline. Nothing is accidental, he said of Japanese architecture. It was his own philosophy in stone. But his rivalries weren't confined to the water. He went head-to-head with Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Mark Benioff, a former Oracle protege who founded Salesforce. Ellison mocked it as a toy company, then built Oracle's cloud to fight it directly. Yet he and Steve Jobs were closer than rivals admitted. In 1997, when Jobs was plotting his return to Apple, Ellison offered to help him buy the company. Jobs refused. Ellison later said it was the only time he saw someone choose vision over control. In 2003, he founded Oracle Team USA and won the America's Cup 7 years later. His yacht, Musashi, was named after the samurai who believed discipline was the path to freedom. But Ellison's greatest sailing triumph came with controversy. In 2013, Oracle Team USA was caught cheating during preliminary races, modifying boats to gain an advantage. The team was penalized, docked 2 points, and faced international humiliation. Most owners would have withdrawn. Ellison doubled down. He brought in new sailors, redesigned the boat mid-competition, and turned a near-certain loss into one of the greatest comebacks in Cup history. Oracle won 8 straight races to retain the trophy. Critics called it arrogance. Ellison called it engineering. Winning, he said later, isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to lose. That mindset, the refusal to accept defeat even when caught breaking rules, would become a defining trait of both the man and his company. In 2012, he bought 98% of the Hawaiian island of Lanai from David Murdoch, a project he called a sustainability experiment. Critics called it a kingdom. His personal life was just as restless. He married 4 times: Ada Quinn, Nancy Wheeler Jenkins, Barbara Booth, and Melanie Kraft. From Booth came 2 children, David and Megan Ellison, founders of Skydance Media and Annapurna Pictures. After 2010, the data industry was changing again. Amazon, Google, and Microsoft were moving to the cloud, and for once, Oracle looked slow. Ellison scoffed at the term publicly. Cloud is just someone else's computer. But behind the scenes, he was engineering a pivot. Ellison's feelings about Amazon's dominance weren't just competitive, they were personal. In a 2018 earnings call, he didn't just criticize AWS. He called it inferior technology wrapped in clever marketing. He claimed Oracle's cloud was faster, cheaper, and more secure, and that Amazon's lead was built on hype, not performance. Jeff Bezos didn't respond publicly. He didn't need to. AWS controlled nearly half the cloud market. But Ellison kept pushing. He slashed Oracle cloud prices by 50%. He personally called CEOs to pitch migrations. And he rewrote contracts to make switching from AWS as painless as possible. By 2023, Oracle had won contracts from Zoom, TikTok, and even parts of the US government. Not because Oracle was bigger, but because Ellison refused to let Amazon win without a fight. The cloud wars revealed something crucial. Ellison didn't just want market share. He wanted to prove he could outlast anyone who underestimated him. He stepped down as CEO in 2014, handing the title to Safra Catz and the late Mark Hurd, but stayed on as CTO and chairman, directing Oracle's rebirth around Oracle Cloud infrastructure. Then came the Pentagon Jedi contract fight. Oracle sued the US government, claiming the cloud bidding process was rigged for Amazon and Microsoft. The lawsuit failed, but Ellison made his point. He challenged any system he didn't control. In 2018, he joined Tesla's board after investing $1 billion, linking two of tech's most polarizing billionaires. He stepped down in 2022 but kept his stake. Oracle's next act was AI. While others trained models on public data, Ellison focused on private enterprise information, medical records, contracts, supply chains, data too sensitive for competitors to touch. At Oracle AI World 2025, he called it building intelligence where the real data lives. It worked. Oracle's stock soared. That same year, Oracle signed what analysts called one of the biggest infrastructure deals in history, a multi-layer partnership to power OpenAI's next generation of models. The contract, reportedly worth hundreds of billions in cloud computing, positioned Oracle as the backbone of the AI economy. Every new model trained on Oracle servers sent its stock, and Ellison's wealth, surging. Each deal pushed the stock higher and tightened Ellison's grip on the AI economy. In September 2025, Ellison's net worth nearly crossed $400 billion, making him the richest person on Earth. The title didn't last long. Oracle's stock whipsawed with every new AI contract and rumor, raising tens of billions in days. Ellison didn't seem to care. The fluctuations were just another reminder that dominance never stays still. That same year, he helped finance a family legacy. His son, David Ellison's Skydance Media, merged with Paramount Pictures, creating a new media powerhouse half owned by the Ellison family. It was more than business, a father backing his son's vision the way no one had backed his own. At 80 years old, Ellison had outlasted his peers. Jobs was gone. Gates had retired. Ellison was still writing code and still designing the future. By 2025, Ellison's architecture defined modern business, but it came with a price. Inside Oracle, employees described relentless deadlines and impossible targets. Ellison didn't apologize. To him, ambition was honest work. When you innovate, he once said, you have to be willing to burn your own ships. On the Hawaiian island, his so-called sustainable utopia divided locals. Some praised the jobs and renewables. Others saw rising prices and restricted access. When Ellison bought Lanai, it was struggling. The island's two resorts were outdated, and the economy depended on a pineapple plantation that had shut down years earlier. Ellison promised transformation. He invested $300 million in renewable energy, rebuilt the hotels, and launched hydroponic farms to reduce dependence on imported food. On paper, it was visionary. In practice, it was complicated. Longtime residents praised the jobs but resented the restrictions. Access to beaches required permission. Housing prices rose as wealthy buyers arrived, and some locals felt like guests in their own home. Ellison saw it differently. He believed the island could be a model, proof that sustainability and profit weren't opposites. "We're not trying to preserve the past," he said in a rare interview. "We're trying to build a future." Whether Lanai becomes a blueprint or a cautionary tale won't be clear for years. But it's unmistakably Ellison. Ambitious, polarizing, and designed down to the last detail. He rarely talks about philanthropy, but the Ellison Institute of Technology, his $1 billion plus research project, is tackling cancer, climate, and AI ethics from a new campus at Oxford, set to open by 2027. For a man obsessed with control, it's one of the few arenas where he's willing to share it. But even that vision has hit turbulence. In 2025, senior scientists like Sir John Bell stepped down from the Ellison Institute, calling the project very challenging. Insiders cited friction between academic researchers and the Institute's commercial ambitions. Ellison's model, philanthropy built to scale like a business, is both ambitious and untested. The recent appointment of Santa Ono as global president brought optimism, but questions remain about whether the Institute can balance profit, purpose, and people under one roof. In another arena, Ellison became a major Republican donor, hosting fundraisers for Donald Trump and backing candidates who promised lighter regulation. Ellison is a bundle of contradictions. Ruthless but generous, a dropout who built a digital university, a man obsessed with efficiency who collects centuries-old art. He still codes, still races, and still insists that rest is the enemy of innovation. He built platforms that made business faster and profits larger, but also centralized power in ways the world is only beginning to understand. His network now holds more of the world's critical information than any other company in history. Larry Ellison has spent his life turning defiance into architecture. Every setback became structure. Every doubt became design. He built Oracle the way he built his world. Methodical, exacting, impossible to ignore. The platforms he created move finance, governments, and the internet itself. This is Bedlam Bear, where ambition is dissected, power is quantified, and chaos always has context.